Prince has a song, it's called The Plan, and there's a reason that it's so melancholy. Here's how the plan works.
See, it's funny until Elon Musk say that, guess what? The new God is coming out of Memphis.
Memphis, the capital of ancient Egypt. Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
And found out that Memphis is actually an ancient Egyptian city, the ancient Egyptian capital. And you know what he's doing down there in Memphis, right? He got him a nice, what he say? He said, got him a nice supercomputer down there. He went on to say that AI, artificial intelligence, that they summoning a demon.
Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
Yeah.
Memphis, the capital of ancient Egypt.
I'm gonna put her in the backseat and drive her to Tennessee. 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 Tennessee.
They must never find them.
Hello?
Face down. That's like Elvis. Face down. That's like Elvis.
When you look at the word church, C is the third letter, H is the eighth letter, U is the 21st, 2 plus 1 equals 3, and R is the 18th. So that's 318. You know why? Because of Revelation 13:18, they talk about the Antichrist and that. Also, 3:8, 3:8, and 3:8, 3 plus 8 equals 11. So when you look at the code for church, not only do you have the 13:18, you have 11:11:11. K is the 11th letter. So you also have KKK. When you consider that the world considers the Masons, the Freemasons, to have this esoteric knowledge, they refer to it as 33rd degree gematria. It's because the 11:11:11 equals 33. 3 times 8 is 24. So we have 24, 24, 24, and 2 plus 4 is 6. So we actually have 6, 6, 6. So who are they really talking about in Revelation 13:18? Themselves. Obviously, KKK is short for Ku Klux Klan. This is just the beginning, and I hope you continue to watch, because what I am about to tell you has everything to do with what's happening in our world and who the church really is, and why there is so much darkness hiding behind that curtain. Oftentimes when you listen to singers, rappers refer to Lulu, that's like Lucifer.
Then I met the devil in God's country.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
With the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
Watching the album where you speak to Lucy, Lucifer.
Speaking of Lulu and Lucifer, check out a couple of things. This is Kirk Johnson. This, I think, was in April 15th, 2015. And he says, in Cali, hanging with his oldest daughter. And then he says, ooh, look, Lulu. It has to do with Kirk Johnson and all the clones and lookalikes over at Paisley Park. Believe that. Because Kirk is equal to KKK or Kinky. Or if you do it in gematria, C is the third letter, K is the 11th letter, so that's 3-1 for the 13th Merovingian bloodline, and 5 plus 5 can spell out son, or it equals 10, which is another 1. So it's 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, much like the sum.
1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3.
Ain't no room for disagree. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Take your time and think it through. We're going down, down, down. If that's the only way to make this cruel, cruel world hear what we got to say. Put the writing day.
I know that's an awful lot to take in, especially if you weren't a Prince music listener. Here's what you need to understand. The name Prince R. Nelson, as seen below on the prescription bottle in the investigation, spell out CERN. Really important because CERN is short for Luciferian. So viewing the word Luciferian, you can see C-E-R-N. Prince R. Nelson is the I am that I'm always talking about, that I met in the afterlife, and the supercomputer, if you will, that Elon Musk is always referring to rebuilding to open up the gates of hell. CERN is where they say they're studying the God particle. They say that they found this God particle in 2012. It's funny to me that the Large Hadron Collider, the LHC, in gematria, L equals 3 and C equals 3. L because it's the 12th letter, and 12 equals 3, and C because it's 3, and H is the 8th letter, so it's 3-8, much like Revelation 13:18 for the coming of the Antichrist beast, as the New Testament Revelation preaches it anyway. So when they're talking about discovering the God particle at CERN in Switzerland, they're referring to the I am and trying to recreate or reuse or abuse his energy in a more dramatic way by electrocution, like I mentioned in the last video. When I was doing my research on CERN, I found that one of their programs is called Alice, which is like Alice in Wonderland. Or is it All Lies? I'll go with All Lies. They're trying to recreate a Big Bang as we've been sold in science, that the creator didn't create, that it was just some cosmic explosion. What they're trying to do, and this is what I saw in the afterlife, was to transfer the creator's energy, as has been done during like World War I and World War II. And before that, I'm just talking about in our generation. My mind can only dip so far back right now, but that's what he told me, and that's what he showed me. Furthermore, check out the cover to Graffiti Bridge. Right here on the cover in this yellow and blue area, that's to depict the bubble chamber at CERN. The photographer's name is Colin Lane, and he had also photographed the Is This It cover for the Strokes. And then it goes on to say that they both used a portion of the subatomic particle tracks in the bubble chamber. It helps if you know the music and the stories and the movies, but also when you look at the larger insert here of the Graffiti Bridge narrative, Aura here, she is an angel human that Prince maintains contact with. I think that this is sharing like Tree of Life and Tree of good and bad knowledge here, and that's what the tree depicts, and then this tear in the fabric of time where she's hearing from him in this world, and then in this world where I am. And then over here, this could be a cherry moon. It's semi-wet purple, but then you see the darkness, whatever you call it, the new dawn, or it looks kind of scary, kind of like the end of the world to me. So he was trying to share all this information with us. I'm going to continue to give you evidence so that you can know who your creator is and what they're trying to do and what exactly is meant by the plan. For those of you that might be a little confused, I am not calling the one we knew as Prince Rogers Nelson a Luciferian. What I am saying is that when I was in the afterlife, he told me he is I am, the I am. He told me that because of decrees and things from the beginning of time, that his power and energy have been used and abused contractually for a long time. And he's like a machine man. And that's why they're able to study him at CERN in this way contractually. The reason they were able to do it contractually is because the music that was brought to our world, which is a gift when it's used appropriately, that music is what taught me to understand all of this stuff, because basically I was brainwashed for 41 years now with the music, with the lyrics, with the live concerts, with the things that he said at the live concerts. I was like drenched in this information. So I'm definitely not here, God forbid, saying that Prince is Luciferian, but what I'm telling you is that because he participated contractually in this way in order to bring music to an industry that brings sex, drugs, and rock and roll and death, he was bringing love and truth and awareness of God into that place. And you guys know that I've listened to the music. He even, there was reference to Jesus in the music. Take, for instance, the song The Cross. He said, don't die without knowing the cross. He didn't say to follow it. So when I was in the afterlife, when I stood accountable in how I understood these things, I said it wasn't so much what he said, but it was always what he didn't say. So bust out the lyrics and read them, you'll see what I mean. He told me that because he participated in the music in this way, that there was an agreement that he would agree to the others, the Luciferians, that he would, here's an example. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. So when in Luciferian hell, play like they play. That's what he told me about keeping the evil one busy. He said he was like a dog, and he had to keep him busy in various ways by entertaining him. So when you learn about these things, it brings on lots of lusty behavior. So only certain people can manage it. Those soulless ones, they do all kinds of evil things. And so that's where I found myself learning about all these things in the afterlife, and seeing them. It was all very dark and interesting, but I would always rather know the truth than be lied to. So the thing about the Luciferians and the CERN is when you look at the word Lucifer, this writing is upside down and backwards, like at the end of the Purple Rain when he says, hello, how are you? When you look at the word Lucifer, it's RFI and then the ID. It becomes RFID. So they are the ones that want to bring on the RFID chip. Many of you know Disney was said to be a 33rd degree Mason. And look at Disney World. It's called the Magic Kingdom. It has Mickey and Minnie. Paisley Park is in Minneapolis. The other cover, this is deep MK Ultra cover that goes back to the secrets held by the Vatican. It's good versus evil, the Gog-Magog war. It's everything that I say it is. And the cover was at Paisley Park. It was a prison in which the creator imprisoned himself to contractually to be a creativity machine. It's where all the personas come from, the men, the women, the success, the movies. They also made movies there where he was tortured. The screams can be heard throughout his music. The magazines refer to him as the Scream Machine. Go back and isolate the tracks. You can hear the screaming. You won't listen anymore. I don't. Paisley Park is in the middle of nowhere because it was a self-contained prison that he had bound himself to contractually. Now, in the afterlife, I had heard that he said they were going to say that he was like he had water on his brain, like they were controlling him. Like, you know how when they capture King Kong and take him down with ether in the movie? Well, imagine having the creator contractually bound to doing certain things and in a certain state of mind by using pharmacology and hypnosis and things beyond your wildest imagination, torture, MK Ultra, D1X practices. Let me show you something about D1X. There is a book called The Last Nazi, The Life and Times of Josef Mengele, and this person, Gerald Astor, wrote it. And in it, they refer to D1X, D1X. It's human endurance torture. If you look up MK Ultra online here in the United States, it will tell you that yes, our government says they dabbled in it, and it was just to see how they could control armies and if they could use it against the enemy. And that's really all they say. But what it really was bringing these experienced German torturers, the ones that they used at Auschwitz and, you know, in orphanages to do twinning and just horrible things that you guys, we can't talk about. They're unspeakable. The Vatican brought these torturers over through Brazil under the guise of being help for the Vatican, and that's how they ended up here. So this D1X torture is what spells kid in reverse. So again, remember, you're looking at spelling as if it's in a mirror and upside down. Much like the little boy on The Shining when he says red rum, it's murder in reverse. Red rum is what they're talking about, what they get from the DMT and the pineal gland from the sacrificed children. It's the reason for the red rum. It's also part of the reason for the 314 equals pi equation. They talk about it as cherry pie, little Jack Horner. Anyway, so D1X torture was being done, and that's why Prince went by the name The Kid.